Here we go. Yay. So we are recording now.
Hey, beautiful. That's a good thing. Hi, everybody. Well,
Awesome.
yes, hi.
Hi,
Yes.
hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, community. Welcome, Performing Arts Resource Community. It is Renee Chambers-Liciaga. I am here today with a special guest. His name is Brett Jolly. We met maybe almost 20 years ago. I was doing
Wow, it's a
Dreamgirls
bit
at the
long.
Prince Music Theater in Philly about 18, 19
Yeah.
years ago. And I ended up doing, they featured me, Linda Swain, because she was with Channel 3 or she was doing, her
Oh, that's right.
things.
Yeah, Mom on
And
the Move. Yeah, yeah.
right. And Mom on the Move. And that's how
Yeah.
that's how we met. That's how you and I met, because then I came to, I think it was QVC, and you guys were
Yes.
jamming live. And
Oh, yeah.
that's how we connected.
Oh, yeah. That was a great thing. I remember that we had a lot of fun there. I remember meeting two people met there. I met Paula Abdul there, and of course, I also met Joan Rivers there, who
Yep.
actually gave us food out of her dressing room, which was
Yep.
nice of her.
So that,
Yeah.
yeah, that's so we've known each other for a long time, but even more so, our paths have crossed. It's just been a beautiful thing. He is an
It's been
amazing
great.
musician, composer, songwriter, father, community activist. He does so many things with his gifts and talents. And I wanted to, have you introduce yourself really quickly, because then we're going to go right into some really great questions.
No, no problem at all. We can definitely do so. First off, I wanted to, the way you described me, I wanted to turn around and find where I was so I could meet me.
Ha ha
But
ha.
yeah, no, that's all right. No, my name is Brett Jolly. First off, I do music, photography, videos, um, a lot of stuff. I like to work with people and put special projects together, including models, singers, people who need songs written, commercials, whatever it is. That's where I am, and hopefully that puts everything in perspective.
Yeah, thank you. And he's
You're
definitely being
welcome.
modest. He and his brother, they just won an Emmy. So
Oh,
congratulations,
good.
Mr. Emmy Award winner.
Yeah, matter of fact, it's up here. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not.
I saw it. I see all the, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, it's up there somewhere or another. Yeah, so I got an Emmy for those people who doubt that I have an Emmy. I have an Emmy.
Which is amazing. So what I wanted to, one of the questions that I definitely wanted to ask was, and this is for like some of our aspiring, talent. We
Hmm.
have students, that I've been mentoring and coaching for the last 10, 15 years, since they were younger. Now they're in college. Now they're continuing in their craft, whether it
Hmm.
be, singing, acting, dancing for musical theater or print work or commercial work. And I do have a young artist who has been writing songs and playing the piano. So what I would love to find out and hear from you, because even though you've told me the story many, many years ago, is
Hmm.
how did you get started in this business of music, and what was your favorite instrument?
Well, that's a very good question because first off, when I first got started, I was 4 years old when I started playing. My folks bought a piano home and the very next morning I was playing a song called "Stand by Me" on it, which I had no knowledge of, and they were like, "How in the world did you do that?" And I couldn't tell them because it just felt natural to me. So anyway, to make a long story short, I was, as the years went on, I was playing basketball because I wanted to play basketball, and the more I played basketball, the better I got at music, which was really weird. So anyway, to make a long story short, I have been in this thing for a good while. The basic gist is basically perseverance. You have to kind
Mm,
of take it and whatever seems like a good avenue to go in, take that avenue and run with it. There's no set formula, but by that same token, you make your set formula and you make
mm.
it work out. And that's the most important part of all of this.
Okay. Okay, so
Mhm.
that's really amazing. So literally gifted. You had that gift and that ear to be able to just
Yes.
pick up the piano and play. And
Yes.
that right there is a special gift. What would you
Mhm.
say to an aspiring musician, or, someone that's a singer or whatever? What would you say to them? Say if it didn't come as easy as it came to you.
Okay.
What would be a piece of advice that you would give them if they loved music so much, and if they knew that that's all they dream of, that's all they hear in their mind?
Mhm. Yeah, I would say first off, I would give an example. Uh, Prince, when he first started out. got booed unmercifully. He got booed badly. And, and he had to learn from that experience because the thing is, he's Prince, but, the Prince we know of now was not the Prince from back then. If as an aspiring musician, performer, entertainer, you're going to have moments where, it's going to seem like, why am I in this for? And you have to kind of take those, and I've had them. Lord knows I've had them. So what it is that, when that kind of stuff comes, you have to kind of say to yourself, okay, you know what? These people they're entitled to their opinion. That doesn't mean that they're right. And the most important thing is not so much to convince them, is to convince yourself.
That's right.
About how good you are.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, and that goes back to what you just said about the perseverance. You know what I mean? And being resilient, which is true.
Yes.
So, okay, so here we go. So I have a question from Peter. This is a really good one. Okay. When you think about the artists you've respected the most throughout your career, what qualities made them true professionals beyond their talent? So beyond the fierce singing, because we know that you've played with the best, right? Of the best, beyond their amazing singing and their amazing. What was one of the things that you respected? What was one of the qualities that made them true professionals?
Humility and their humble ways about them. You can always, you can find people that are great performers and everything else like that, but how they are when the cameras are not running, how they react to you as an individual makes all the difference in the world. I've had situations where people okay, like when you have dinner with Jeffrey Osborne, I've done that. Or Ashford and Simpson, which I've also done as well. I mean, there are a lot of them out there. But the thing about it is, a good performer is not just based on their abilities to perform. It's also in their abilities to relate.
Yes.
If that makes sense. So, because of that fact, I've had a lot of great experience. Of course, there have been some that have been pretty bad too.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure.
We're not gonna get into those, but we can. But
say no names.
No, we're gonna say no names. But the thing about it is, the good people, and there are quite a few of them out there.
Yes.
They're great to work with, and they're great to know more than anything else. They're actually friends above the music.
Yes, which I think is really important. So, and that's what sustains us. I really believe in the journey that we are doing. Okay, here we go. If a young performer asked you, how do I prepare for a long, successful career? What advice would you give them that has nothing to do with, their musicianship or their talent? Again, I mean, This is like a different way, but now you're speaking to our younger performers that are on this platform. So what advice would you give them?
Those are the ones I really want to reach out to. The most important thing is confidence. And when I say confidence, I don't mean cockiness. There's a big difference. All right. But what it is that, when other people doubt you, you have to believe enough in yourself to say, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this work. And you put the things together. Sometimes you may not get the full support of the people that you want. In that case, you go with the people that you can believe in, which is yourself. I've been that way for a long while. And, and I don't try to take it to the point where, I try to tell people how great I am. If I do that, I'm blowing smoke. But basically, I want to put myself in a position where if I do something, people will tell me how great I am. And that's where I get my accolades from. So that being said, your belief in yourself is essential and primary to imperative to make sure that you gain the success that you want to get in life. So, that makes a big difference. Anybody who has doubts about themselves, I hope they contact me because I will tell them,
right.
What's great about them and, what they need to do.
Right. Okay, great. I mean, that was a great answer. And confidence is important. Okay. So, and we kind of touched on this a little bit. This is really good. Hold on. Let me see. That's the confidence. So you answered that. You answered the one of the other questions that let me see. Let me see. This is one of my questions just because I've kind of known and I knew that you started playing piano when you were younger, but, and this is like kind of, I don't know, I guess something for us musicians, something for us so that we can geek out on, but I would like for you to answer this. What is your favorite instrument, the instrument that you love to play the most? And I know you can't have favorites, I know, because you play quite a few instruments, and why? Like, why is that? Would that be your favorite instrument?
Okay, well, first off, I'm mostly known for bass guitar, and that is my favorite instrument because, this is probably different. Everything else in the band, every other instrument, you could hear, but being a bass guitar player, what I do is something that everybody feels.
Yes.
So because, yes. So it's like my days with Teddy Pendergrass. I would be on this riser, and it would be great. The bass would be blasting through the system, and they were looking at me. And to be honest with you, it's probably what it felt like. I was having an interaction in a certain way with the audience, because that's how you actually feel, And I'm trying to put that in a modest way, but I love it because it's I could jump up and down with my guitar. I could make faces at people in the audience. I could do all kinds of stuff and just enjoy myself and have fun, because I know, everybody, they're checking me out.
Right.
So the bass guitar is my favorite. When it comes to recording, of course, the piano, because I do a lot of my songs on the piano or the keyboard, and everything. I don't really care. I'll take whatever.
Okay, so it sounds like bass is your favorite because, and it does. I mean, it has that thickness that it has, to me, as a dancer, as a dancer, it has that soul. The bass and that drum and bass line is just like, and then you're just moving. It just moves you. Literally, it goes in your system, and like for me, it does. Like bass line, drums, and I'm dancing right away.
Exactly. And so you can relate because you're in the entertainment field. You're great at what you do. You actually promote your field and actually make it acceptable to others. The more the people see of you, and you know what the deal is with that. Promotion's key in this business.
Yes.
So that's why both you and I, we have to be able to let people know this is what we do, this is how we do it. And
right.
That makes the biggest difference to everybody.
Right. Okay. So, which I think that's great. And then one of my last questions is, and you can take your time with this one. Mm-hmm. If you would like.
Absolutely. I can talk. We can talk about anything you want. I'm good.
And you already talked about the character traits, which I think is really important too. Is them believing them in themselves. So that's very important. Okay, so here we go. So, and this is thus far because you've done a lot, but looking back on your own journey, what are the most important lessons that shaped you? Not as an artist, but as a person. And, because I know you and I know your family, and I'm going to throw this out here too, because I think with a lot of our younger talent and with the parents, sometimes they get so excited about, well, they're going to be in the show and they're doing this and they're doing that. And I had a student the other day that he's more of a musician, like he's so musically inclined. He's playing piano, he's writing his own songs from his heart. And yes, he acts and he can sing and he can dance and he loves musical theater like I do. That's why I mentor him. But I can sense that he wants to express himself and do more with what he has. And I wanted to ask you, because you've been doing this a very long time, and you've played with the best of the best. You write, you arrange, you're still performing out and gigging all up and down the East Coast. One of the things that I noticed, and I think it's as we have gotten older, we have our families, people have passed away, people have died, that you are, how would I say, you are a spokesperson and you utilize your talent for those that really can't speak up for themselves. You wrote a beautiful song about your son. You've written songs about your father. Do you know what I mean? So let me see, how can I say this? Or how can I word it? All the gifts and talents, right, that you have and your journey and what you've done, not just as an artist, but I would say as a human being, as a humanitarian. What, can you speak on maybe some of those projects? And you don't have to get into specific detail if you don't want to. But I know that you put stuff out there, which is really powerful, and it connects with so many different people.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate you saying that. I'm gonna let you know that for me, and this is also very important. Even though I love what I do and I love create being creative and everything else,
Hmm.
the thing that I really love most of all is working with people, who might want to go in that same direction. I love the young people. If they want to work with,
Yeah.
I would love to hear from them. I would love
Yeah.
to talk to them because you know what? There's so many gifts and there's so much I can learn from them from what they have in their inspiration. I just wish that I would have had it, when I was younger. But the thing is, uh, time is what it is. So
Yes.
what I'm saying is that when it comes to everything being creative, we got to realize it's a different field now than it was back in the day.
Hmm.
Now back in the day, you had record labels, and they would put the money together to put you out there and everything else. Those record labels are gone now. Just
Hmm.
about all of them are gone. So, and the ones that are left, basically have uh, non-angelic ways about them. You think about the P
Hmm.
Diddy's and everything else that go on. You want to
Right.
be, you want to get out there, but you don't want to be involved in that stuff that they
No.
were doing.
Right. Correct.
So, right. So what it is that, and this is my actual thing. I want to establish a whole new industry. I want to establish an industry where singers, performers, rappers, dancers, models, like yourself, can actually put together our own system
Hmm.
that's actually verified and legitimate, and not based on anything else other than our abilities to perform.
Hmm.
you know that would make the biggest difference, and I think that would be imperative for everybody else as well. For those of you checking this out, I invite you to check out my website. It's
Hmm.
brettjolly.com. It's BRETT, two T's in Brett and Jolly, Jolly, like Jolly Old St. Nicholas.
Yep.
BrettJolly.com. I'm actually putting it all together. We're creating it new, so I got some parts that I
Awesome.
haven't finished yet. Oh yeah, it's
Awesome.
really, really
So
good
so
so
I'll
far.
I'll make sure that we put that in the link because this community that it's on, this is on a private community, Brett. So
Hmm.
for,
Yeah.
for students and stuff. And it's important. Yeah, we have the next generation, the younger ones, and then I have people that are in their late 20s, early 30s that I'm
Mhm.
still mentoring and coaching too as well. So we have like the full gamut, you know what I mean? For those of them that are like, how do I get started? I'm a new songwriter. I don't know what I'm doing. To, oh, I've booked shows and I want to continue to keep growing. So
Yes.
that was one of the reasons that I asked you. It's like, wow, okay, within your humanity, it's not just about, oh yeah, I'm a musician, I'm a bass player, I do A, B, and C and D, but you're also a father. You're also, do you know what I mean?
Mhm. Oh, sure.
A person that takes care of people. You're also a brother. You're also an
Hmm.
uncle. So it's these
Yeah.
things I think that our parents actually want to hear as well too, because as you and I, we just said, you just sometimes you just never know, and you really a lot of the families and parents that I know, they want their children to be safe. Do you know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
they want the people to be able to pour into them that's something that's positive and healthy instead of what the music business can be, because we know what the
Right.
music business
Oh
can
yeah.
be.
Yes,
We've,
it's
we
something. And
I've lived it.
those are,
You've lived it.
yeah, and we lived it. And those are the people that I want to reach out to because I've had a lot of people come up to me and they've been disencouraged by the stuff that they've had to go through,
Yep.
with the business. And I
Mhm.
understand it because the business is that kind of way. But the thing about it is, what we have to realize, those people had the money to push you. We have something more important. We have each other.
This is
There's
true.
strength in numbers.
Community. Yeah, community.
Community. We have the community, and that's why I applaud what you're doing. What you and Peter are doing are absolutely great. Um, I want us all to realize that united, we can knock walls down. We can move mountains
True.
if we look at it that way. There are many many things that can happen. I want your people in your place. If they want to reach out to me, please do so. I would love to hear from you. All
Awesome.
right. Matter of fact, there's some that things that I can use as well. So to make a long story short, yes, that I am all about that, and
Awesome.
they should
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, no, and yeah, and yeah, and everyone that's listening, all of you that are listening, Brett and I, we've worked together in many capacities, behind the scenes,
Mhm.
on stage,
Oh,
photography, music
hmm
videos, live performances, and
hmm
what I love about what you said is that it is community, because
yes, it
and I
is.
tell my students, I don't know everything either because I'm still learning and growing. But wow, do I know a lot? Do you know what I mean? And
Exactly.
I can
You've been
share
through
and
it.
pour into.
Right. You've been through. You're actually, the same lane as me, my brother. We've been through that international stuff, all of that.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, that experience can help us to help others.
Yes.
And can incorporate others. And like, once we get to the point where we realize that we're all in this together, then it makes the boat more seaworthy.
Yeah. This is true. Yeah. As Peter says, he's like, yep, when one boat rises, they all rise. And that's true.
There you go.
And,
That's right.
and I guess and that's always been a thing because I've been, over the last, 16, 17 years, mentoring and coaching the younger generation and, being with their parents and seeing what their needs are. Yes, you have talent. Yes, you have gifts, but, let's hone those gifts. Let's build on those gifts. Do you know what I mean? And now, okay, here come the opportunities. So are you ready? So the last question that I have for you is, and maybe you can, this would be great. And I know Darius and I know his mom will definitely reach out to you because this is the track where he actually is kind of going. I'm pretty sure Peter's going to put it up on the, on the platform. He wrote a song and he played it for like Juneteenth, and I didn't even know he was going to be in my area in Morristown. He comes over to me, Miss Renee. I'm like, what are you doing here? Because he lives like 25 minutes, in the next town. So he signed up. It was an open mic. He asked the person, no, I want to play the piano on my own. So they let him play the piano. He's 16. He just turned 16. And it was a beautiful song, but it was a song from his heart about him feeling like he has to be perfect. And, and the level of stress that these teens are going through, whether it's to get to college or to get here or to be the best or to book a show, it's so much, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so intense, but it was so beautiful, like the lyrics. And I'm like sitting there like, oh, okay. Like I knew he could play piano, but I didn't, do you know what I mean? Like the arrangement and everything. I was like, oh, wow, this is really where he connects. And it was pretty much, I mean, afterwards, these, other teenagers came up to him and they were like, oh, can we follow you? And this and that. So it was like such a beautiful thing because, he taught me something that day is that he's like, wow, there's so much pressure for me to be perfect or to get it right. So what would you say to our next generation of, and I'm specifically saying for talent, our performers, about them having to be perfect or to get it right? Because that's we're all human. So
that's a beautiful question. I'm going to tell you right now, you take that pressure, you take that stress, and you make it work for you. Write about it.
Yep.
All right. Record it. Do whatever you need to do. Take your talents because you know what? It is a lot of pressure. And first thing you have to do is admit it's a lot of pressure.
True.
So if it's a lot of pressure, what you do is, you know what? Don't let it harm you. Channel it into something really, really good and make it work. You'd be surprised at what can happen.
There you
go. Some of the best songs are written from what you feel, and that's most important. So, I would say, take that and go for it. Darius, I'd love to hear the song. I would love to hear the song and see what and see what can be done with it. But then I'd love to hear from everybody.
Awesome.
When I say we all need to work together, we all need to do that. And he's at the perfect age where, you got stuff going on in your head, lots of pressure for this and that. Man, you know what? Don't let it settle. Make it work and start something.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. That's perfect. Yeah. Like you utilize that pressure, right? I think of that with the diamonds. They need pressure. You think about that with a pearl, the oyster, they need pressure in order for it to, do you know what I mean? To be refined, And
you utilize, when you utilize that and make it work for you, you'll be surprised at how your life can go from this perspective to that perspective. And it can go rather quickly.
Yes.
So for people like him, who also feel the same thing. Like I said, I'd love to hear from everybody. I really would. I don't mind that. So, but
awesome.
Whatever can work out.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Brett. Thank you so much for those words of wisdom because, we're adults and we've navigated, through this and we still have pressures as well too. But for, for the youth, for our teens, and then to see him sing that in front of all these people he didn't even know. Do you know what I mean? But the younger people came up to him and was like, And I'm like, because he spoke, he put that into words and emotion and the music, what they're actually feeling. And that's what I love about music. Music has the power to just to heal. It's healing.
That music is so powerful. It can cause people to do stuff that they never thought they would do. And that's one of the things that you have to realize. That when you realize the power of music and how you can utilize it, then you'll be surprised at what you can accomplish. If you
True.
feel it, others will feel it as well. And
This is
that's
true.
what hopefully the young people will understand.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, and the arts, any type of the performing arts is just so important and just so powerful. And we need to have that. I'll get ready to click off. Yeah, we need to have that.
That's one of the things, and this is important. It's one of the things that I try to convey, because right now, besides just music, I'm doing, of course, the video and the photography.
Right.
And I want people who need pictures done, who want videos done, whatever it is. If you can think it, I'll help you create it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Check out my website, and you'll see for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Thank you so much, Brett. For spending the time on the platform with me.
My pleasure.
And for answering these questions, because I really feel as though they're important for all of us to hear, whether or not we're just starting out in the career, in the middle of our career, at the end of our career, restarting the career over again, like I've done. It's just, we continue. It's a journey. It's a creative journey.
Real quick, if anybody's interested in August 14th to 16th, I'm going to put this out there. I'm doing something called Rewind 69, where they're doing a tribute to Woodstock, and it's in Atlantic City at the Showboat. Yes. Those people, you can look at it online. Re is a hyphen, R-E, and then wine 69. Check out .com and check it out. And I'm done now.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be awesome. Yeah. Well, I'll make sure that, once this is rendered and everything like that, that Peter will, do you know what I mean? That will be, because he does everything technical. That's amazing. So that is not, I'm the creative and he's the business and tech person.
Love it.
That's
great. Both of you guys are fantastic. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, Brett. Thank you so much as well too for being here today, for sharing your words of wisdom and your inspiration and your encouragement. So yeah, if you need to find out more from Brett Jolly, you can get in touch with him here on our community school platform. All right, everybody, take care. Thanks, Brett. I'm gonna call you when I hang up. I'm gonna call you real quick. All right. Bye.
Take care now. Bye-bye.